Hi Taurus, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading. This week we are looking at the month ahead, so February. All right, we will be sort of splitting the month start, middle, and end, seeing what's coming through for you in general and in love. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. Every single like, comment, and subscribe really does help the channel grow. Being such a small channel, it's something that we do sort of need to try to get happening for us there to help grow the channel, get those messages to everyone that needs to hear them. This week I am using a relatively new deck I've got here, the Mystic Martian Oracle. We're using that for a bit of an overview, and then the main deck we're using, we have the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. I also have the Soul Connection When Two Hearts Meet Love Oracle. Okay, so getting into it for you today, Taurus. Sorry about my hair today. The braids are starting to fall out, but sort of clipped them up a little bit, but they're obviously going to be coming out after I film today. So back to boring non-holiday hair as of this afternoon. Okay, Taurus. What's going on for Taurus in February 2024? Start, middle, and end of February for our Taurus, please. Ooh, Taurus. Starting the month off strong with the Ouroboros energy there. So commonly seen as a snake eating its own tail. In this particular deck, the snake has actually got wings, and we've got this little figure curled up inside that. So it does really have that nurturing feel to this particular Ouroboros. It does say infinity, eternal, and past life. So a lot of the time it's seen as that cycle of life as well, where, you know, the past life, we die and then we're reborn again, we die and then we're reborn again. So it does talk about those sorts of cycles, you know, the cycle of life, those sorts of cycles within our own life as well, the deaths and rebirths that we've endured during our own particular life. It does also talk about infinity and eternal. So having, you know, something in our life that is, you know, there to stay, and it's not sort of going anywhere. It's something that we can rely on as a strong energy, a strong presence, you know, for us our entire life. So not many things do sort of stick around our entire life, but you know, there is that sort of energy coming through for you here, Taurus. But we'll have a look at what the Lenormand has to say for the start of February for you. Taurus, what's going on for Taurus at the start of February, please? Okay, so firstly we're seeing the Star card, okay, that is being affected by the second card here, but the Star card really does talk about your wishes, your true desires, the things that you hold deep hope for here. It is sort of a hidden desire, a hidden wish that you have here, because we do have the well coming through next, you know, modifying that slightly. It's kind of that deep, dark desire deep down within you that, you know, it's finally, you know, coming up to the surface with this well card. You yourself probably looking deep within yourself and sort of realizing that, hang on, I do hold on to this deep down within myself. There is this wish here that something I'm really actually wanting for my life. I've just kind of been, you know, pushing it down, sinking it to the bottom of my soul, but it's sort of slowly rising at the moment, and it's asking you to dive deep at the start of February and really, you know, have a look at those deep desires that you have within yourself, you know, good and bad. We all have darker desires as well as positive desires. in our life, positive wishes. Sometimes there are these deep hidden desires as well that are, sometimes a little bit darker as well, like things like, the need for revenge and, hoping someone gets their karma and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes we do hold those deep within us as a bit of a hidden wish, a hidden desire. So it's asking you to look a little bit deeper at those at the start of February, because, something is actually being brought up to the surface, coming to light here. That well image, you can see the bucket is sitting in the light there. So it's something from deep within you being brought up to the surface and coming into the light a little bit, being revealed a little bit to you. And it's got to do with something that, you do have this deep hidden wish that you're actually wanting this thing in your life. For quite a lot of you, it's got to do with this house energy. Okay, so for some of you, it may be a wish to do with an actual physical house. So like that kind of deep hidden desire. It's because I feel like for a lot of you, the reason that we've got the well card showing us that it is really deep within you is because this particular wish, it may be something that you feel that is not going to ever be reality for you. So the example I'm seeing here is, like if you're somebody who has rented their whole entire life, you're not in a financial position to actually be able to buy your own home. And so you've kind of quash that dream of owning your own home deep down within you, because reality keeps telling you this is never going to happen, but deep down here comes that wish up to the surface that, I really do want to be a homeowner one day and own my own home. So for some of you, I do feel as though that is directly what we're looking at here. For a couple of you, for some of you, it may have to do with moving house. So you may be wanting, have this desire that you want to go and, move to the country or move to the beach or something along those lines. And it's something that you've just felt that may not be realistically possible for you, but you do still have this kind of hidden desire to actually, pull everything out of your life and take off to the forest kind of energy. So for some of you, it's definitely, that. But for others of you, this is more about, rather than a physical house, this is actually more to do with, I'm getting, the family home kind of energy as well here. So for some of you, it's got to do with the security and stability of your family. So whether that be, your existing family or the potential future family that you maybe are wishing for here, there may be some sort of hidden wishes or desires that you do have around your family with that house energy there, more to do with the stability and the security of your family. So if you're somebody like me who has come from a bit of a, had a bit of a rough, family situation, you may actually be really looking for some sort of stability within that. And once again, I feel this clash of reality and your desire here. So it's kind of like, if you are in no contact with certain family members, because I am being given the example of my own family situation here. So a lot of the times the examples I'm given are things that I personally relate to, so I can explain it a little bit better or use myself as an example. I have not been in contact with my mother for a very long time, and that's something that, deep down I did struggle for a very long time wanting a mother figure in my life. But my biological mother was never able to provide that figure that I needed from her as that mothering role. She was never actually able to provide that for me. And I'm kind of picking up on that kind of energy. The interesting thing is my mother is actually a Taurus, so right on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. So this may be picking up on her energy, you never know. But it's that stability. So it's that security of wanting something, desiring something to, I keep getting this clash of reality, because in reality, I know that, my mother cannot be that role that I need for her to be as a mother. But deep down there is still that desire to have a mother figure, so it's that clash of I know that in reality this is not going to happen, but there's still this this energetical desire there for that role to be fulfilled in my life, and I feel like that's what's going on for quite a lot of you. It may not be an actual family member that is currently in existence, like in my personal example there. This may be more about, for some of you, I feel like this is more about that future family. So the family that you want to create in the future. So whether or not you have a partner, have children, you may have some sort of ideal family thing that you feel like once you get that ideal family situation for yourself, that you will be very secure and happy and stable. That will be stable for you. Like the whole idea of a lot of people do strive for the house, the car, the partner, and the 2.5 kids, or whatever, the white picket fence kind of scenario there that we hear from days gone. So it's kind of picking up on that energy a little bit for some of you too, that it's this wish of this desire of what you want in the future when it comes to your personal stability within a family. I am just pretty much getting, for a majority of you, that this is just to do with family, or like I said, the physical house kind of stuff. So, sometimes it can talk about your general, sometimes depending on other cards around it as well, it can talk about, your emotional stability, those sorts of things as well. But I am picking up that for, majority of the Taurus out there, this is just specifically to do with, the family home that you're wanting to create for yourself, or wanting this idealized version of for yourself. Okay, so for some of you too, I am picking up on the fact that there's a past life influence coming through with that desire as well, because it's kind of like you're craving something that you've never had in this life, but you have had that before. So it's kind of like, oh, I remember how good that felt, and I'm wanting that same situation, that same layout of families. So that could be anything, but for some of you there, I am picking up that it's you've had this kind of ideal situation for yourself in a past life, and it's influencing your current life now. So for some of you, doing some sort of past life regression to look into that a little bit more, maybe something that you're wanting to look into there, because I am picking up that there is a past life connection with this family stuff for a lot of you. All right, but the middle of February, we're moving into a much more sort of positive energy, and it's moving in a different direction. So it does just feel like the start of February, you are just sort of realizing, it feels like a bit of a realization about where you, how you sort of feel, and this deep down desire, and you're looking a little bit deeper within yourself at that. And then, the middle of the month, we're moving off into different territory altogether, because, the middle of the month, we do have the Venusians card. Okay, so men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and what do women encompass when it comes to divine feminine? It's that nurturing, that loving aspects, the emotional aspects. This card does say romance, soulmates, and empathy. Okay, so having empathy for yourself, for others around you, picking up, I feel for a lot of you, picking up on somebody else's energy quite a lot, but romance and soulmates. So I'm definitely going to delve into this one a little bit for you, Taurus. We all love a good romance story, a soulmate story. Well, maybe that's just me. I really do love hearing people's love sort of stories and that sort of stuff. I love love. I'm a sucker for love. Okay, middle of February for our Taurus, please. Middle of February for Taurus. So even if you're already in a connection, that can just talk about, that strengthening romance, refinding the romance within the connection, all that sort of stuff, picking up on the other person's emotions quite heavily. If you're single, you may not be for very much longer. Let's have a look. I'm definitely seeing some stuff coming through for the singles here. Why does Taurus need to know that, please? Please clarify those two cards. Oh, okay. Yeah. I love when it clarifies as I ask the question before I even pull any cards. Just, I do still want to clarify though. So if that's what's changing, where does that lead Taurus for the middle of February, please? Okay, Taurus. So firstly, we have the scythe coming out. So this is actually reading, a lot of the time this can talk about breaking free from something. You are breaking free from an energy that you have been holding on to a little bit here, but also it talks about sudden unexpected changes, something coming in unexpectedly changing the way you think, the way you feel about. I feel like for a lot of you this is about romance, about love, about soulmate connections. I do feel for a lot of you it's got to do with just the way that you yourself feel about this. For some of you, this sudden change may be somebody coming in and changing the way that you think about this, changing the way that you're behaving towards love, that kind of stuff. Because we do have the bear as well as the mask there. Okay, so this is the energy that you have been in. I feel for majority of you this is the energy that is going to change, that is changing for you in the middle of February. The bear is all about you protecting yourself, putting up those defenses, having strong boundaries, standing strong and powerful, but also we see the mask here, so that we can clearly see with the bear energy that that's the mask we use to protect ourselves. We've got these boundaries up because we're trying to protect our inner selves. We're trying to protect, our soft, vulnerable self from being hurt. That's what the mask card is all about. It's putting up a front so that we're protecting those parts of ourselves and not allowing ourselves to get hurt, and that's why we're seeing that bear energy, because you're trying to stand strong and powerful. You're trying to have these really big walls around you and protect yourself and nurture yourself, but it's all a little bit of a mask, and underneath there is this vulnerability that you're not allowing to kind of escape you. You're really, because it's a very interesting energy, because when we are putting up a front with the bear and we're got our boundaries set so firmly that nobody can cross them, and it's kind of that energy of, especially with that being a big change, right? Without change, nothing changes. So it's kind of like, if you don't change this, no one's ever going to be able to get close to you. So you may want someone to get close to you, but if you're projecting this giant wall around yourself and holding yourself back from being vulnerable with anybody, nobody's going to be able to get close enough to you to have that sort of close connection. So it's kind of that, effed if you do, effed if you don't kind of thing. So sometimes we do need to take a risk and be a little bit more vulnerable and open and honest about who we are, how we feel to people, rather than always putting up this mask and not allowing anyone close, because if we don't allow anyone close, no one can get close. So sometimes it's a bit of a risk, to let people in. It's definitely always a bit of a risk, because you don't know that if you let that person close, you let them see too much of your vulnerable sides. Yes, they can hurt you. But yes, it can also be the greatest thing you've ever done, and the closest connection you've ever had. So, with no risk, there's no reward kind of energy. So I do see that this is what's changing for you in the middle of February with that scythe energy. It's kind of time to, reap the harvest. A scythe is what they use to cut the wheat. Okay, the wheat can grow really strong and tall and stand really proud, but it can't become flour and then bread unless we harvest that and change the format of that wheat. Okay, so this is kind of your harvest coming in here, that if you make this change, you are going to reap the benefit. The high risk, high reward is kind of what I want to say there. And the reason that you need to make this change, and what the outcome that this is going to lead you towards in the middle of February, we have the clouds and then the snake energy. So it's going to set you off into a heavy thought kind of energy, where you are very thinking things through quite rationally, thinking about how you can allow someone to get closer to you, how you can embrace that romance and be more empathetic towards others, and allow them to be empathetic towards you in return. It's kind of sharing feelings rather than blocking your own feelings from getting out at all. We do have the snake as well, so it's kind of like passion, desire, ambition. That can talk about physical intimacy. So there definitely is the potential for physical intimacy in the middle of February. Even if you are single and not connected to anybody, there may be somebody sort of coming in quickly, especially with that scythe on the table for you. That is super quick, super fast energy. It's like suddenly out of nowhere. I do feel like for some of you, it's this person. Meeting this person makes you want to change, makes you want to let down your walls a little bit, let down that mask, show them who you really are, and gets you really thinking about the passion that you're having for this person, the physical intimacy that you feel towards this person, the ambition for romance with this person. So the clouds there, it does remind us with the clouds to keep our thoughts light and fluffy. Don't allow the potential negative outcomes to stop you from seeing the silver lining in those clouds, and remember that there always is positive potential outcomes as well. All right, so don't allow yourself to overthink the potential negatives here. It's kind of like think things through, but think things through about more to do with your ambition here, and your passion and your desire. Okay, think a little bit more about what that passion and desire means, rather than allowing yourself to sort of spiral out with your thoughts and start thinking about negative things here. All right, so that's what we're seeing for the middle of February. Toward the end of February, we do have the air element coming through. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you may be connecting with one of those. You may have strong placements in those yourself. That does say philosophy, discrimination, and empathy. So we're seeing the empathy keyword yet again. So the empathy, the sharing of the feelings, the understanding someone else's feelings, and them understanding your feelings. It's following through toward the end of February here, and it is allowing you to look at the deeper philosophy of what's going on for you here, especially with this energy coming through as an outcome as well. You're looking a little bit deeper into what does your sensation of desire, your sensation of ambition, the philosophy behind that. What does that mean? Where is that coming from within you? Where is that leading you? The ambition, where is that taking you? That kind of thing. And having that discrimination to kind of know intuitively where you're going here, where you're flying off to with that air element. It's kind of like head in the clouds a little bit, but I'm feeling it's a little bit, you're just so wrapped up in your desire that you do feel like your head is in the clouds a little bit here at the middle and end of February. So it's don't allow yourself to get swept away. You use that intuition to discriminate between what you do need to stay grounded in, and what you can allow yourself to get swept away a little bit with here. All right, but we'll get some extra clarity for you. Okay, Taurus for the end of February, please. End of February, what's going on for Taurus at the end of February? Okay, I'm just going to clarify here. What specifically is that for? What specifically is that for Taurus, please? What specifically is that? And why? Why does Taurus need to know that for the end of February, please? Okay. So I am getting that energy following through where we're trying to make these changes to, let people in, be a little bit more vulnerable here, because what we're seeing that's definitely following through a bit here for you, Taurus. We do have the book energy that came out with the magnifying glass. Okay, so that really shows us that there's a deeper level of research. You need to look a bit closer at the story of Taurus. Okay, because the next card I do have is the Tower. All right, so that's referring to not only your own past, but also that masking energy where you're sort of have your walls up a fair bit, because the Tower is like, your inner need to sort of disappear off into the Tower. Take, when things get a bit too close to home, that you kind of like locking yourself away in this tower and running off into solitude. So just be aware of this, because this is what we're looking at the middle and end of February, is that this thing within you, Taurus, where you do sort of try to hide away from what's going on in your life. You're trying to hide away from people getting too close to you, and that does seem to be what this is asking you to look a little bit closer at. It's asking you to look at the story of Taurus here. This book energy, it's coming through pretty simply as researching yourself here, researching your past. What it's sort of telling us in specific, the what we're researching here is the tree energy. So the tree energy is all about you yourself. So we're looking deep within. Okay, we're magnifying all these past issues we've had with vulnerability. So it's asking yourself things like, why do I run away when people start to get too close? Why do I feel like I have to push that away? Why, like, what has happened in the past that every time I've shown vulnerability to somebody, and then the repercussion of that, why am I allowing myself to believe that that's what's going to happen every single time? Like, it's kind of that energy that just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen every single time. But the weird thing is that it is actually more likely to happen every single time if you're acting in the same way as you have in the past as well. Pardon. So it's kind of like, if you show somebody a vulnerability and then they use that against you, and so you run away and run off into your tower and lock yourself away and put up your mask and put up your walls all around yourself, and refuse to show vulnerabilities to anybody, then you do accidentally sort of let a vulnerability be shown again, and then someone uses it against you. It's kind of like the cycle repeating itself, because you're behaving in the same way as well. You're continually running back and putting up that mask and jumping back in your tower and hiding away. So you're allowing that cycle to continue a little bit as well. Not saying that anyone is innocent for using your vulnerabilities against you. No, not at all, because obviously that's horrible. But there is this element of taking some personal sort of responsibility for your role in that cycle, needing to research your own role in that cycle as well. Especially, with that tree energy saying this is the what, we're really assessing ourselves. We're really looking at, have we grown? Do we react in different ways? Do we present ourselves in different ways? The tree is all about, growth, maturity, your self-care, the way you look after yourself. It's kind of asking you to assess, am I still reacting in the exact same way that I did 10 years ago? Am I still, interacting in the same way I did 10 years ago? Have I grown? Have I matured and react differently? Because it's kind of letting us know that, maybe you do need to branch out and try a new way of caring for yourself when it comes to this sort of stuff, rather than running off into your tower and hiding away and building a fortress all around yourself. Maybe lean into it. Like, I know that that's a bit scary for a lot of people, but if someone tries to use your vulnerability against you, yeah, cool. It's easier said than done, I know, but kind of like try to react in a different way and be like, well, yeah, cool, you using that vulnerability against me, but what about this vulnerability? Like, throw another vulnerability at them, confuse them with vulnerabilities. But when I'm talking about vulnerabilities, I do talk a lot of the time about, opening yourself up emotionally, letting people know how you feel, that sort of stuff, So, like, rather than running off into your tower, once again, using that vulnerability, like you and outright, calling that person out. You just used my vulnerability against me. I told you that I'm scared of this and this, and you just scared me with this, the exact thing that I told you I was scared of. Call them out on it and react in a different way, rather than running off and putting up the mask and, I'm not going to let you in, I'm not going to tell you how I feel anymore. That kind of thing. Like, I'm not calling you out at all here, Taurus. I'm just sort of trying to find examples of how to explain it to you here. But it's all about your self-growth and how the way that you look after yourself here. But the why you need to know this is the clover, which is you need to take a chance. You need to take a risk. So once again, it's pretty straightforward. It's you need to take a chance to let that mask go, try it a different way, try to, look at how you've done things in the past and do things differently in the future. All right, so that's what we've got for February, but we'll have a look at romantic love in specific here. Okay, Taurus. What's going on for Taurus in February with romantic love? Okay, so linking up with that whole entire reading, we do have the emotions card. All right, so look deep within your emotions. All right, so don't well, it's exactly what we were saying at the start here with that well, and then the magnifying glass as well, looking deeply within yourself, looking deeply at the things that you do truly desire here, the things that you're wishing for in life, but also looking deeply at the way that you hold your emotions and the way that you allow people to view those emotions or come close to those emotions. All right, we do have rejoice. Embrace your loving connection and rejoice. Okay, so there is definitely a connection in here for you, Taurus. I just feel as though you are needing to sort of look at the way that you deal with things at the moment, if you want to get the most out of this, and are able to rejoice within that connection. So for some of you, that is, I feel like that may be a brand new connection. You're meeting somebody quite suddenly who kind of makes you look within, and that's kind of what's happening here. But at the end of the day, rejoice in meeting that person and having that ability to, level up within yourself, because it does feel as though for a lot of you, this is going to be something, that definitely could really help you grow, and you're needing to take that chance. It's telling you to take a chance. So, we are seeing that if you're only just meeting this person in February, we are still sort of seeing that energy following through, even though we're not directly looking at it. It's kind of making you look at yourself and then the way that you're interacting with this person. But I dare say, for those of you where this is a new connection, you are still going to be in connection with this person in March, or the start of March, after this reading. All right. The other card we do have is the surprise card. So very, very sort of similar energy to that scythe for you here, Taurus. You may be about to be surprised. Even though I'm warning you and letting you know about what's coming in, it may still come as a bit of a shock, a very unexpected plot twist in the life of a Taurus to meet this person. Okay, so surprise. But you may also be attending some sort of birthday party, surprise party this month. You may also be receiving some sort of surprise gift as well, I'm getting for some of you. But that's what we have for you today, Taurus. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, and hopefully I'll see you all soon.